Welcome to the Fighter Index, where every attribute matters. Today's breakdown is UFC lightweights Quillan Salkilld and Jamie Mullarkey, who meet at UFC Fight Night in Sydney, Australia, on January 31st. Quillan Salkilld has burst onto the UFC lightweight scene as one of the sport's most exciting rising stars. The Australian came into the organization with momentum, earning a 19-second knockout in his octagon debut, and following that with a solid decision win and a spectacular head kick KO that grabbed headlines and KO of the Year buzz. He blends dynamic finishing ability with growing all-around skills, is undefeated in the UFC so far, and is rapidly becoming a legitimate contender that fans and analysts are eager to watch. While Quillan Salkilld has grabbed attention with spectacular knockouts and undefeated octagon form so far, there are still clear questions about how his game holds up over a deeper UFC sample. His striking defense numbers show he absorbs a fair amount of offense against quality foes, and in longer fights he's shown signs of fatigue in later rounds, suggesting his cardio and sustained pressure and pacing need refinement. Jamie Mullarkey is an all-action UFC lightweight who thrives on pressure and intensity. Fighting out of Australia, he pushes a relentless pace, sharp boxing, and non-stop combinations that force opponents into chaos. Mullarkey's toughness, knockout power, and willingness to trade make every fight a war. Add in solid grappling and true fight IQ, and you get a lightweight who's always dangerous and always entertaining. While Jamie Mullarkey brings pressure and aggression, that same forward style can leave him defensively open. He's been hit clean in exchanges and has struggled against more technical, composed strikers who can manage distance. At times, his high pace comes at the cost of efficiency, leading to damage absorbed and momentum swings. Against elite lightweight competition, Mullarkey has yet to show consistent control or finishing reliability. Quillan Salkilld enters at 10-1 overall, a perfect 3-0 in the UFC. Standing 6 feet tall with a 75-inch reach, fighting orthodox, a long, dangerous finisher, still unbeaten in the octagon. Jamie Mullarkey, also 6 foot tall, with roughly a 74-inch reach and orthodox stance, brings an 18-8 pro record and veteran savvy to every fight. In the UFC, Salkild's debut was explosive with quick finishes, while Mullarkey sits at a 6-7 UFC record against top lightweight competition. Starting with win rate, Quillan Salkilld owns an eye-catching 91%, built off a 10-1 record, while Jamie Mullarkey sits at a proven 69% across 26 professional fights against tougher competition. When it comes to finishing ability, both men are dangerous. Salkilld has ended about 70% of his wins early, split between knockouts and submissions. Mullarkey edges that slightly, with roughly a 73% finish rate, showing consistent fight-ending power. At the knockout level, Jamie Mullarkey stands out, scoring over half of his wins by strikes, while Quillan Salkilld brings solid power with around 40% by knockout. On the mat, Salkilld holds the edge, finishing roughly 30% of his wins by submission. When it comes to decisions, both fighters sit near 30%, showing a clear preference for finishes, but the ability to go the distance. Now it's time to break these fighters down using the Fighter Index scale. We break down each phase of the fight and score each attribute to better understand the strengths and weaknesses of a fighter's game. The first pillar in the Fighter Index is fight IQ and athletic tools, measuring how intelligently a fighter competes and how well their physical traits hold up under pressure. In fight IQ, Quillan Salkilld and Jamie Mullarkey are dead even, both scoring a 7, showing solid awareness, good reads, and generally smart decision-making inside the cage. When it comes to athleticism, Mullarkey holds a slight edge with an 8, using his explosiveness and physical strength to drive his pressure style, while Salkilld comes in at 7, with smooth movement and developing physical tools. The biggest separation appears in stamina, where Mullarkey's experience in high-paced fights earns him an 8, compared to Salkild's 6, as he continues to prove his conditioning at the UFC level. Finally, in resolve, both fighters rate high. Mullarkey leads with a 9 for toughness, durability, and willingness to push through adversity, while Salkilld scores an 8, showing strong composure and mental toughness when fights get difficult. The second pillar in the Fighter Index is striking and stand-up defense, focusing on how fighters operate on the feet and how well they handle damage. In pure striking, both Quillan Salkilld and Jamie Mullarkey score an 8, showing solid technique, confidence in exchanges, and the ability to generate offense at range. Inside the clinch, neither fighter separates significantly, but Mullarkey holds a slight edge with a 6, using strength and experience to work short strikes, while Salkilld comes in at 5 as a developing area of his game. In striking defense, Mullarkey again leads with a 7, showing improved head movement and awareness, compared to Salkild's 6 as he continues to tighten up defensively. When it comes to chin, Mullarkey scores an 8, backed by his durability in high-level UFC wars, while Salkilld earns a 7, showing solid resilience but with less octagon time against elite pressure. The third pillar in the fighter index is grappling and control, measuring how effectively fighters can dictate where the fight takes place. In wrestling, Jamie Mullarkey holds a slight edge, scoring a 6 with solid fundamentals and experience, while Quillan Salkilld comes in at 5 as he continues to develop at the UFC level. That trend carries into takedown offense, where Mullarkey again scores a 6, using timing and strength to secure takedowns, compared to Salkild's 5. When it comes to top control, both fighters score evenly at 5, showing the ability to hold position, but without consistent dominance or extended control time. In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Salkilld takes the advantage, scoring a 6 thanks to his submission awareness and comfort on the mat, while Mullarkey scores a 5, relying more on control and ground and pound than pure grappling finesse. The fourth and final pillar in the fighter index is defense, scrambles, and ground survival, focusing on how fighters respond when things don't go their way. In takedown defense, both Quillan Salkilld and Jamie Mullarkey score evenly at 6, showing reliable ability to stay upright but not complete shutdown defense. When it comes to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu defense, Salkilld holds a slight edge, scoring a 6 for his awareness and positioning on the mat, while Mullarkey comes in at 5. That advantage carries into fighting off the back, where Salkilld again scores a 6, showing more comfort creating space and defending submissions, compared to Mullarkey's 5. In scrambles, both fighters score a 6, showing good reactions and balance during transitions, with neither consistently dominating chaotic grappling exchanges. Overall, this pillar slightly favors Quillan Salkilld. While takedown defense and scrambles are even, Salkild's higher scores in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu defense and working off his back give him the edge in ground survival situations, especially in prolonged grappling exchanges. When the fighter index scores are finalized, Jamie Mullarkey comes out on top with an 8.0 overall rating, built on experience, durability, and proven performance against high-level competition. Quillan Salkilld finishes at a 7.0, showing strong upside, developing skills, and the athletic tools of a dangerous rising lightweight. If you have different scores for a fighter, put them in the comments and defend your position. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more fighter breakdowns and fighter index scores.